What was the Windrush scandal? Windrush was the name of the ship which in 1948 brought migrants from the Caribbean to Britain. After World War II, Britain needed people to help fill the labour gap left by a shortage of workers. A law was passed which gave people from the Commonwealth who arrived before the 1st of January 1973 the right to indefinite leave to remain. But the Home Office did not issue documentation in order to reflect this status. The lack of paperwork would later leave thousands of Caribbeans vulnerable and at risk. In 2014, reports began to emerge of British citizens being wrongly detained, deported or threatened with deportation. This arose because they could not prove their legal right to stay in the UK. Many were arrested by the police, brought in for questioning and held in prisons. With their status under question, they were being treated as potential illegal immigrants. A number of them were deported to the Caribbean despite living in the UK for decades, with many having arrived in the UK as children. The Home Secretary Theresa May created the Hostile Environment Policy. The measures were designed to make staying in the United Kingdom as difficult as possible for people without leave to remain. The policy was first announced by the Home Office in 2012 under the Conservative Liberal Democrat coalition. The United Nations Human Rights Council stated that the policy fostered xenophobia within the UK. Theresa May said at the time that the aim is to create here in Britain a really hostile environment for illegal immigrants. The Windrush scandal saw hundreds of Caribbean immigrants living and working in the UK, wrongly targeted by immigration enforcement as a result of the government's hostile environment policies. What was the fallout after the scandal was discovered? The then Home Secretary Amber Rudd resigned as the scandal unfolded. She had claimed the Home Office had no deportation targets. But less than 24 hours later, Rudd admitted that some immigration officers did use targets for the number of people they should deport. In its initial response to the Windrush scandal, the government said there was no evidence any individuals had been deported. It later revised the figure up to 63 cases, but the records of 83 deportees contained evidence they were in the UK before 1st January 1973. A new category was also created. Citizens were removed because they appeared to have left the UK to reside overseas for more than 2 years. This was now used to justify those people losing their entitlement to indefinite leave to remain. As a result of this, the names of 74 of the 83 deportees were removed from the list of those found to have been illegally deported. A Home Office historian wrote, "The British Empire depended on racist ideology in order to function, which in turn produced legislation aimed at keeping racial and ethnic groups apart. From the beginning, concern about Commonwealth immigration was about skin colour." As the award-winning reporter Amelia Gentleman concluded, the politics of Britain's borders, which have been administered for more than a century by the Home Office, are now inextricably connected with race and with Britain's colonial history.